to another signature or questions about another signature. Because the autopen, the autopen has come back. NewsNation obtaining this memorandum for Susie Wiles, White House Chief of Staff, from the Office of White House Counsel. And it's a 17, I have it right here, page document or whatever it is, 15 pages, something like that, 13 pages. Yemisi, you were Chief of Staff to the Biden press shop. And in this is a document put together by the current White House with excerpts of old emails about who knew what about the use of the autopen. I would say, and I'll get Bill's point here in a second, that there's no real smoking gun here, but it does raise the question about who knew what when in the Biden White House on this. Do you have any concerns that the autopen was misused when it came to pardons and clemencies in the final days and hours of the Biden administration?
No, I can speak to the staff that worked in the staff secretary's office and Jeff Zients' staff, and they work with honesty and integrity, and they did for the 4 years that they worked in that White House, and they're longtime civil servants. Obama's used an autopen, Trump has used an autopen, Biden has used an autopen. Things happen fast in the White House, and a lot of things are just spoken. And if Jeff Zients and President Biden spoke verbally to each other, and then Jeff Zients relayed that to his own chief of staff, then that message trickling down to the staff secretary makes total and complete sense. I think I can get in the weeds about some of the people that were granted commutations or clemency that I think that's the discussion and the debate and the smoking gun there.
Did you find anything in here?
I found a couple of things. Number one, the Department of Justice did raise issues about the legitimacy of some of these pardons. They said, wait a minute, stop. They also said that when the Biden White House was coming out and saying a lot of these pardons were all nonviolent, that they went through and actually found violent criminals. And equally troubling, they never contacted the victims to hear their side of the story. Article 2 vests pardon authority in the President of the United States. Not the White House, the president.
Get rid of the presidential pardon power. It's been abused over and over again. Get rid of it. I don't see. Now it's way easier for me to say that than for it to happen. I grant that, but it's been abused too much.
I'm not ready to go that far. Yes, a lot of presidents use the autopen to sign happy birthday notes to like the 100-year-old grandma in Iowa.
More than happy
But let me
birthday
just say
notes,
this.
yes.
Let me just say this, and I've said it on these airways 1,000 times. Woodrow Wilson suffered a stroke, hid it from the public for a year, and his wife served as president. This is the largest scandal we have seen regarding the health of our president since Woodrow Wilson. Nothing is being done. We said after Woodrow Wilson, never again, and we didn't put enough safeguards in to make sure that the presidency was handled with better care. The people deserve a president and commander-in-chief who is fully in charge of his facilities, and they need more reform.
That document with the Her report screams 25th Amendment.
All right. Didn't think we'd be talking about either of these two issues today, but here we are. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.